Hello and a warm welcome to my channel where I cover stocks and derivative data on a daily basis. Now, in this video, I've covered Tata Power, flagship Tata company, and you're starting with the quarterly chart because it's a 23-year data. So let's see how it's worked in that manner and then start moving down from the highest time frame possible. Now, from 2000, we can see a very steady rally almost at a 60-degree angle till 2008. And from there, a huge slump. Now, this one is 8 years rally from pre-split and everything and all considered post-split, a decent rally from there. But from there, we saw a decline up to a 75% decline, which took 12 years. So it's a lengthy period of price and time correction which took place in the stock. And from the COVID lows, we've seen another breakout. Now, this looks like a kind of a flag breakout in that aspect, but a flag target has been already done. But look at it from a much bigger point of view that the first Ichimoku wave which happened was for a period of 8 years. The next one is correction. The counter trending wave is 12 years, and the third one is just into its third 3-year plus. So there's a lot of time-wise upside still pending in the stock. Let's now try to analyze how much on the upside can the stock do in terms of price, and where all will it have resistance. So one thing is very clear: in terms of time, the stock is in a mega bullish trend, and a lot more can happen in it from an investor's point of view. Now let's have a look at the monthly chart and try to analyze how things have been for the stock. So in the monthly, we can see a fantastic rally, the COVID one, and after that, from April 2022, remember the markets had topped out in October, November 2021, but Tata Power continued to push its way up, even though it did not manage to make a high close, but it did break above the October 21 high made up. And from there, we can see a decline. Now, in the Ichimoku term, we can see the baseline has very nicely held on to it. So it did not breach this baseline at all, continued to rally from this. So strong investor buying came in March 2023 near this baseline support. Now let's have a look at the weekly time frame and try to analyze what is happening in the stock here. Here we had a cloud breakdown, and then the future Kumo still remains bearish with the lagging line still inside the cloud. So little bit of uncertainty in the lower time frame, especially in the weekly medium term time frame, with a resistance around 240 to 250 odd levels. I say 230 to 250 is that zone in the weekly time frame. Now let's have a look at the daily time frame and try to analyze what has happened out here. And out here, the stock at the lows of March 2023 April reversed from a bullish harmonic 3 drives pattern. Now, it's a very rare pattern found in stocks in India and NSE in any time frame. And what a beautiful reversal we've had from this bullish harmonic pattern, 3 drive pattern. From here, steady rise gone all the way up till 235, where there's a fractal resistance of 230, Ichimoku fractal resistance, which has pulled the stock into a sideways to a minor drift down from there. And from there, we can see some kind of sideways. And today, that is the June 26th, it's tried to hold on to this decline after 2 sharp downward candles which took place last week in it. Let's have a look at the hourly candle. Hourly, we have a massive fall and then some sideways move which took place on Friday and today also, 23rd and 26th of June. hourly slightly in the bearish tone right now. Now let's try to assess where it can go down till where are the strong support and where all can we look at it from a upside perspective, because like I said, time wise the stock is in a mega uptrend right now. So before I go into the assessing of how and where the stock has major supports and immediate resistance and upside, a reminder for those who wish to join and learn how to trade using Ichimoku and invest and harmonic trading patterns and understanding trading psychology, risk management, how to identify strong sectors, weak sectors, how to rotate from sector to sector, how to rotate within stocks in a sector, and all these are covered in the courses that are there, especially in the trading psychology, risk management one. Uh, Mind management and risk management needs to be covered in a very, very thorough manner, more than technical analysis or fundamental analysis, because that's an individual aspect. Plus, as we grow, we are exposed to more capital. Either we are managing our own or we are managing someone else. If you are qualified to do that, and so that also requires, you cannot have the same mindset what you have of managing a small capital versus a big capital. It's not a multiplication in an Excel sheet that if I'm managing 100, accordingly I can manage 1,000. No, it's very different. So all these aspects are covered in detail. If you're interested, you can go through the link in the description box, or you can shoot me an email if you have any doubts or queries, and I will try to resolve it for you. The trading psychology risk management will have 10 sessions live, where every session I will show you different aspects. These are 1:1, not in a room with other trader participants. So it's very exclusive, where the many participants are very shy to open up in front of others, or there is a lot of noise and disturbance of different people try to deviate from topics and all that. So it's an exclusive brainstorming session where different aspects are covered. So those are only going for the harmonic or the Ichimoku, and or hand holding of course continues for all the subjects, all the studies, where I guide you whether you interpreted the study properly or not. You can share your interpretation, you can ask your doubts, and we resolve all that. Now let's go back to the charts and see what's happening and where can we see support and resistance. Since we are looking at the lower time frame now onwards, to look for support and then we'll push up. Let's have a look at the derivative data first, the future build up. Last 5 days, like we saw in the last two candles of Thursday, Friday, some selling. So last 5 days we saw a price decline with a OI going up. So some fresh short building could be seen in that. But today, for Monday, we've seen a very, very flat uh, day, but a huge jump in OI out here. So could be some fresh longs being added into the July settlement now that only 2 days are left for the June settlement. So it could be something like that, that this decline now the price has come. So those who are rolling onto their future position could be adding out here also in this smallish move. Or we can also say that because it was very sideways, it's not a major positive, there could be some panic dump expected. So some short has been taken, which we will now assess through the chart. Now, before we go there, let's have a look at the open interest of Tata Power going ahead. Now, 29 June, just 2 days left. There's a huge wall at 225. Today we saw a lot of call unwinding happening out here. So those who are bearish on the stock for the last few days, today they've booked out all the call shorts they had because the call premium has melted significantly. So there's no point of carrying an overnight risk. At the same time, put unwinding has also taken place. Again, very low premium of puts. Nobody wants to hold on to that position for very long. Overall data, 220 is a tussle going on between call writers and put writers, with 220 call writer having a dominance. 215 has a decent OI over the call, PCR at right now 2.59, which looks quite reasonable. 220 PCR is at 0.71, which is bearish. So the battle for the next 2 days could be between 215 to 220. Sustaining above 220 could put pressure on the call writer. Okay, but 225 looks like a huge wall for this particular settlement. Now let's have a look at what the data is telling us for the July settlement, which is very early days for open interest point of view. And we can see out here massive call writing at 230 with supports now at 220, 220, linear, quite linear supports out there. Today also we are seeing a build up at 220 call, 225 call, puts at 215 writing happening, and this near zone happening out here. So for the next few days, the writers are looking for a tight range between 215 to 225 in this case. Now let's go back to the charts and see. In the hourly, I can see resistance around 220 and then at around 225 like this. This 220, 225 looks like a big resistance. Let's look at the daily and try to see where is the support for the stock in the immediate trend. So one support line I can see at 215, which also the derivative data is telling us. But if due to any circumstances we see the 215 data does not hold due to any negative trigger or whatever, the next major support in my reading is coming at 205. Huge one is near 205, 208 to 205. So this clearly in the extreme short term, 215 and all the way down to 205 to 8 is the major support. However, if suppose we are getting into a bigger downtrend, or because this massive breakout has taken place, now breakouts tend to do pullbacks. If there is a pullback which continues further inside, then the resumption of the downtrend which we saw in the weekly, with the weekly future Kumo still bearish, any further decline which does not hold 190 would be bad for the stock. So till from a medium term perspective, I would be looking at 190 as a very, very crucial level. Below that, the entire dynamics changes, and then the stock continues to be under tremendous pressure for a downward move. Because if we even look at the weekly, then we are looking at 160, probably odd worst case scenario, not worst case, 160 to 145 would be then the levels it would test. So very crucial level. In fact, even in the monthly, you can see the baseline at 190 now, which is the daily support which I mentioned to you. And the weekly is at 200. So 190, 200 is an extreme strong support level and also a very crucial one out there. In again, I would repeat that if there is a chance of a stock doing a decline to that level, smart money would be likely coming in aggressively to buy out the institutional funds and all that. Like I said, the resistance is at 220 to 225. Anything starts above that, the stock will start again pushing its way up. Now, where can the stock push its way up? The first cluster fractal resistance was at 228. The next one, because this is so close to it, 228, 230, you can say this is one immediate short-term resistance, but the bigger one is out here at 248. So short-term, 230, 232 to 245, 48 is where the stock will find resistance in its upward move like that. Let's have a look at what the medium term is offering to us. Yeah, like I said, 240, 48 to 250 is that resistance of it. Once it can start sustaining above 250, 55, the stock has immediate potential to hit 325, 350, and maybe a lot more from there. Because like I said, this is a big month, time-wise reversal we are looking at in the stock. So that's 325, 365, and a lot more can happen. It will majorly depend on how much time it takes to push it way upward. Like I said, momentum for major upsides is happening in the medium term above 255, sustaining on a weekly closing basis above that. So overall, very bullish structure with a risk management can be done, in the stock. Any dip down to that would give a lot of potential. A good SIP stock in the range of worst case scenario, not worst case, I would say major support between 190 to 200 to upside block resistance at 250. So in that zone, in this zone, one could look for opportunities to add and look for upsides. And mind you, when I say to 325, 360, this could also be covered in a medium term because 8 year to 10 year run with just 3 years done and another 5 years to go, this could be do a lot more, of course, with longer periods of consolidation also happening in its case. Now, before I unwind and close this one, a disclaimer: this is not a trading advice. It's purely educational basis on technical studies of harmonic trading patterns and Ichimoku. So before you take a call on trading or investing in the stock, please do your research thoroughly and then take a final decision on it. I hope this video is of help to you. So please do like it and don't forget to also share it and subscribe to the channel. Until then, happy investing.